We just put on this auto filter, so it's like womp, 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 womp.
We were spending about 6 months in Berlin before we came back to Australia to start work on tracks like Innerbloom. We were there walking around in every shop, in all these clubs. There was just amazing electronic music, really ambient, emotive, textural, and we were drawing upon a lot of that, and that bled into tracks like Innerbloom. I remember one night me and Tyron stayed back and started playing these chords, and it quickly, this spark appeared and we decided we had to chase it. So we wrote chords, the bass line, made this beat, and created sort of the basis of the song.
That gave it direction. We were like, okay, well, let's not have an end point to the song. Let's just see it through, and let's picture ourselves being in the desert, like listening to this as the sun comes up. What do we want to feel? And let's go there.
We also furthered that by trying to build more texture into the track, and it started to feel like a really warm, fuzzy feeling and almost like a VHS, and we wanted to elaborate on that by starting to warp the pitch and bend that a little bit throughout the track and give it that sort of old home tape feel.
I guess the first thing that came about in the track was the chords, the main chords that you hear at the start. That inspired the whole feeling of the track. So from there, I think the next thing was actually the beat. We made this beat. It was really robotic and straight and had that very German straightness, very robotic. And I pitched these shakers up, so it was like, it's really like precise. We wrote this bass line that was referencing David August's track Epicure, and that was also just this really straight, specific rhythmic reference. So instead of using a vinyl crackle for the crackle, we were like, why don't we do something a little bit more interesting? So a match being struck, and you can hear like the chemical reaction and almost like the oxygen coming off the match. It's got this like breath, and then this like weird squeal. It could sound like, an alien life form, or it kind of almost sounds like a reel of tape disintegrating, or I don't know, it had this really interesting life. There's a sound effect pack, and it was like, I think construction sounds. It was a block of wood dropping on concrete to make the, but it didn't sound like a rim. It was like this weird rim that just sounded really cool.
And there's one moment where we were like exploring all of these, like the candy, we would call it, of like the track that gives it the aesthetic and the world that the song lives in. I think it's at like 5-something minutes. There's like this big string sound that we just hold one chord on, and then the ring modulator that we have, like it basically makes, so it's like spinning, it's like, which was a really sick effect that I remember we were like, let's just turn everything else down and turn that up for that bit. And we're like, no, more, turn everything down more. All the way till like the last build-up, we're like, what do we do now? We're like, cowbell.
Yeah, there's this track, I think you brought it up, that is called Let's Go Dancing by Audion and Tiga. There's an Eats Everything remix that has this obnoxious cowbell that's like, and we were like, let's try and reference something like that, and it actually brought this really like great life to that last drop.
James was like playing with like ideas of the lead. Before we knew it, the lead line was there. And then I think the vocal for If You Want Me, If You Need Me, I'm Yours came out like pretty shortly after we put that in. We tried re-recording that original take like over and over again, and
couldn't just beat the vulnerability of that demo take that you put down.
I think we did like 90 takes to try and beat it, but it was like, oh, what are we doing? Like this is what the song is. Let's keep it.
And it was really when we started playing the track out live that we saw the power of Innerbloom. And no one had heard the track before. I remember the first time we played it out and just seeing this person just bawling, crying, losing like everything, like over a track that they'd never heard before. And that really moved us, and we knew that like we had something special.